Red Corner Boxing. We're in the game.
Yes, guys, and welcome to Red Corner Boxing. You're with Jam and Mr. Neutral as always, and we've got a special guest. We've got the English super middleweight champion. We've got the Trojan Troy Williamson. How are you, Troy?
Yes, I'm all good, guys. I'm all good. Yourselves?
Yeah, not
Very
too bad,
well,
mate.
thank you, mate.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you. We're going to go back to the beginning, Troy, to start with, mate. You started boxing at 10 years old. You got in there, you done your training, and then you decided 11 was too long to wait to fight, so you ducked out till you were 17. Is that a true story?
Yeah, I started when I was 10, and obviously at the time you couldn't compete, so I was just obviously having it hard in the gym, sparring kids that were fighting, and I wasn't enjoying it, got a bit bored, so I left, went and played football, and then returned when I was 16.
Fair play, mate. And then you went on for some good amateur pro, though, didn't you? You literally won some tournaments. You lost to Anthony Fowler in one championship 2014, and then you won it following year 2015. How was that, winning your first amateur pro tournament?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, I only ever boxed as a senior, so the senior ABAs at the time was obviously the most prestigious amateur tournament that you could win. So, yeah, it was a proud moment.
Aye, because when as a senior amateur, your resume stacked at the top level from ABA to European level. You packed a hell of a lot in that time. Was it as frustrating as a child for you that you wanted to get as far as you could in boxing, and then only to be told that you can't box until this time? Is that what put you off? And then you come back in, you thought, right, I'm just going to give this a real good go.
No, not really. I was 16. I went back in the gym when I was 16, and I had my first fight within 3 months of being in the gym. So from the age of 10 all the way till 16, I didn't do no training whatsoever. So it became a little bit natural. And yeah, so I've never looked back. Never looked back. We're here now.
No, you haven't, mate. You haven't.
Well, let's move on to your pro career then, Troy. We won't go through all your early fights, although you had some tremendous wins in there. But you got your first pro title when you beat, I'm probably going to butcher his name, Darian Sochi in 2019 for the IBF European super welterweight title. That must have been a special moment, and when it all started to come together for you. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was. That was a special moment getting my first title. Even though I've never defended it once. I think them IBF European titles, I don't really make much of them. I know they give you a top 15 ranking, but apart from that, obviously, it's just been in the cabinet. Never defended it once. But yeah, winning that first title, it put my name out there in the mix, and obviously people started to notice who I was then.
Yeah, definitely. And you went on a good run after that, but then in 2021, you got to fight for the best title, in my opinion, in boxing, the Lord Lonsdale belt. That must have been something special, mate. And to do it by 10th round TKO against Ted Cheeseman, who was a fancied guy at that time, that must have been one of the greatest moments of your boxing career.
In Liverpool.
It was in Liverpool, mate, the home of Mr. Neutral.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Obviously, that's when it all started getting. That's when it all started changing, really, and that's obviously I won a proper title then. A lot of people didn't give me. A lot of people wrote me off. Not many people were giving me. What's the word? Giving me much hope going into that fight.
We weren't giving you your flowers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they weren't, obviously, but like it's because nobody seen me box. I never had no airtime at that time. Nobody seen me box. I was never had no live TV coverage. So going into that fight, I was a massive underdog. But I went into it supremely confident, and yeah, we got. It was a great victory, one that still gets talked about to this day. So yeah, a very, very proud moment.
Did you feel that you stayed at light middle too long?
Yeah, definitely. Stayed at like probably 3 or 4 fights too long. I did win. Obviously, I won some fights. Like it's not just. I'm not just saying that the losses that I took. Is when I should have moved up, but obviously I should have really moved up from the Amazing Cartwright.
That's what I said.
Fight.
Yeah.
From the Amazing Cartwright fight, that's when I really started struggling to do the weight. So obviously I did get a win there. So yeah, it's not obviously just the losses, but yeah, from that fight I should have moved up straight after then.
Yeah, because the proof was in the pudding for me. after the Jahai Tucker fight. You know, at middleweight. Now that you made that brave jump to 168 pound for the English vacant title as against Mark Dickinson, do you feel better at 168 and you think, wish I'd done this bit, a long time ago?
Yeah, well, do you know what it is? Obviously, when I was at 154, I kept on saying that I should have been at 160, and then but when I did
Then,
it,
yeah,
when I did eventually move to 160, I had 30 months out the ring, and I struggled to do 160. So obviously, I took another loss against Jahai Tucker, and then
yeah,
I was this close to walking away from boxing. To be fair, I was fed up. I was in a bad place, and then the phone rang, and I got offered Mark Dickinson at 168. Um, Obviously, Matchroom and Mark's team, they would have all been looking at, I mean, me coming off 3 defeats, thinking I was finished, thinking I was done. And truly, it was just all like I was at the wrong weight. So, and that was a perfect fight for me. Like, if I was to ever box again, Mark was the perfect opponent.
yeah.
So when that got offered to me at 168, obviously I took it, and yeah, it's just really my career. And obviously, this
It,
is where I feel comfortable at 168. So bigger fights to come.
yeah, I mean, it all clicked in. I was a wee bit worried when Dickinson come in overweight for that fight. Obviously, he lost his belt because of that. As some people, including us, we were worried for, he could come in a lot heavier than you. Did you feel that heaviness through the fight?
Yeah, definitely, I did. Yeah, he's like 5.5 pound heavy, which is it's a lot.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, I did feel the weight presence. But if I'm honest, I don't think weight was an issue because the way I prepared for that fight and the way I was performing in sparring in the gym, I was just supremely confident that I'd be any 168 pounder that night.
You
So
look like a
confident
man
was.
possessed, to be honest, Troy. You really did. I said it on the night when we done the watch along. You looked like you were possessed. You were going to win that fight by hook or by crook, mate. Nothing was
we
going to stop you taking that English title, and you can
couldn't
see it in
believe
your
it.
performance.
Yeah,
Machine
definitely.
performance.
There was no doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to win that fight, and I was going to win by any means necessary.
Yeah,
I
were
was,
you comfortable with the power early on in the fight, and you just thought, "All right, I'm going for this"? It tended to look like that.
yeah. I didn't really feel. I didn't get hurt in I didn't get hurt in the fight. Yeah, just
Just
uh,
comfortable.
people. Yeah, very
Yeah,
comfortable. Do you know what? Like again, a lot of people were writing me off in that fight, but obviously they were bound to. I was coming off 3 defeats, but I knew deep down that.
that's yeah.
Like obviously,
That
I
that was
wasn't
the worry.
finished. I'm not washed up, and obviously, them defeats were just obviously because I was at the wrong weight. But there's no regrets because I chose to go ahead and fight at them weights. So obviously, I've really my career now, and there's some potential massive fights coming up. So yeah, I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
Absolutely. That was another question I was going to ask you, Troy, actually. Just to go back to them 3 losses in a row. You had the Ismail Black Panther Davis fight. Obviously, the chart he took of that Mr. Neutral already mentioned. You had the Kevin Edgarko fight. Did you ever
Yeah.
start to doubt yourself? Or did you know it was about the weight? Or does that just come afterwards when you got up to 168 and prove what you can still do?
Did I what? Sorry.
Did you ever doubt yourself, after the 3 defeats? Did you ever doubt yourself? Or did you just know it was the wrong weight at the time? Or did you realise that once up at 168?
Nah, never really doubted myself. To be fair, yeah, it was down to the weight, and to be fair, I'm not one to make excuses. I've never made excuses, but I've had personal problems in and out the ring. I've fought with injuries. I've obviously failed weight, struggled to do weight, but I've never once publicly came out and mentioned it because like I've chose to fight, so there's never no regrets. But yeah, there's it's not hard to see I was always at the wrong weight. I just stayed at the weights because of the opportunities that was coming. So if you look at my last performance in Mark Dickinson and then look at the previous 3, it's just a completely different guy. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
obviously
yeah.
I'm happy now. I'm in a good place and I'm ready to push on.
Actually, and the phone has it, not stopped ringing, and rightly so.
Yeah, the phone has. Yeah, everyone's asking me when I'm next fighting. Where's out? What venue? Like everyone's wanting to order tickets, so I'm just waiting for the phone to ring with a solid date.
Well, just before we let you go, Troy, thank you so much for your time, mate. But what about this Callum Simpson rumour for the EBU European Super Middleweight title? Have you heard much more about it than we have in the public? Is it a possibility? Do you want the fight, first and foremost?
Yeah, that's a stupid question. Course one to
Yeah,
fight.
I know, but I have to ask it, mate.
Also want to fight. No, like they're calls for me. Like they're calls for me. Yeah, obviously once I beat Mark Dickinson, I think it was the same night I got a message off his manager saying that the Simpson fight's there. So yeah, obviously, so they offered me it.
Yeah, you agreed to it already.
Yeah,
I'd seen.
Yeah, I agreed to it straight away. Obviously, I'm all about big fights and giving the fans good fights. So yeah, that's a fight I'd love. That's a fight I do think it will happen next, and it's got to be before Christmas. So yeah, I'm excited and just waiting for a date.
Perfect. That's perfect.
You had
Mr. Neutral, anything else?
Yeah, just one last thing. You know, you had a message for Turkey Al Sheikh. You think if you win another belt, the sky's the limit. £168 in the Riyadh season card. You know, that's got to be your short-term ambition now.
Yeah, definitely. Them Riyadh season cards, just the way they're promoted, like the full build up beforehand, just looks incredible. I'd love to be amongst that. So yeah, it's coming.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Troy. Absolutely, from us at Red Corner Box, and we'll be following you closely, and we'll be giving you the biggest shout outs. You can trust
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, Troy. Thank you so much for joining us, mate.
We wish you all the best, mate.
Cheers.
God bless. Take care. Just before we wrap the show up, guys, we're proudly sponsored by EasyStories.com, your place to go for all your stories needs, and the Boxing Fight Zone for all your boxing apparel. Check them out at your leisure. Right then, from me, Mr. Neutral, and the English super middleweight champion, Mr. Troy Williamson, the Trojan, we say good night, God bless, see you soon.
I'm moving, I'm going.